Hi, good afternoon. Just going for a little stroll down the river. It's one of those days where I started to get quite not anxious, but a little bit cabin fever, I suppose. Felt because it's the bank holiday, I've been inside all day because the weather's not been great. In fact, I just got a soaking, but it's dried up and the sun's sort of trying to come out. And I needed this just to get out of the house. So I think sometimes it's just good to get some air in your lungs, get the feet moving, get the legs moving, and just get out there and walk off the cobwebs which seem to settle in my mind and my body. The hardest thing is the decision to go and walk to the front door, open the door and go. That's the hardest thing, and I've struggled with that recently, despite the fact I've got a big walk coming up next Saturday, where I really wanted to be a bit more on top of my game with my walking and to try and build my stamina up. I'm going to do a 10-mile walk. At the moment I'm just going to turn up and go for it, because I can't really say I've done any real training. But the beautiful thing is when I get out and walk, I actually wonder what was holding me back, and I think to myself, it's such a great feeling to be out. I mean, I'm down by the River Medway, and it's just a lovely place to walk. It's a short walk from my house, about a mile I suppose, but it's that motivation and that want to do it. Like, you want to go but your body don't want to go. Combination of the therapy, the hormone therapy, the mindset. I feel a bit lazy, guilty of being lazy. That hit me quite hard this morning. I felt guilty of sitting around and I wanted to do something. Otherwise it's a waste of a day, and I think I'm allowed these, by the grace of God, I'm allowed another day here on this planet. I should make the most of it instead of wasting it. But sometimes I think the therapy just overrides that and you just don't want to do anything. But I've got out and just I love it. It's quite breezy. You might be able to hear the breeze, but I feel alive when I'm walking. I feel alive when I'm out in the fresh air and the birds are singing and the nature around me. It's just the best place to be. And I wonder then why I'm quite prepared to just sit on the sofa looking at the phone and scrolling through all the bad stuff that's going on places like Twitter. Twitter's something that I think has two great purposes, but it's great for spreading messages and talking to people, especially with the cancer thing. There's a lot of people with cancer that are on Twitter, but it's awful when you see some of the nasty stuff that's on there, and sometimes you just get in this groove where you just feel like you're just scrolling through it, and everything affects your mind. You see there's a lot of stuff about immigration, there's a lot of stuff about what's going on in Israel and Gaza, and it just, if you're not careful, you just get worn down, and half of the stuff that you read on there, who knows what's true and who's not, and what's made up. So put the phone down, except of course to talk to you, and go for a walk. Something that's been really positive in my life recently is the fact that I switched treatment from the Garadix remember that word if you're starting up on this path, the Garrix to Zoladex. Okay, the Garrix. I spent 2.5 years on that stuff, and I switched to Zoladex, and all of a sudden it's like I'm a different person. I swear, I'd get no pain from the injection. My fatigue, it's there, but it's not as bad, I don't think. My emotions are certainly nowhere near as crazy as they were. I mean, the emotional roller coaster that is cancer and hormone therapy combined is enough to drive you nuts. However, the Zoladex, is it Zoladex? I think Zoladex, something like that. The injection has kind of like calmed it down a little bit. And the great thing is I only have to take it every 3 months, so it's got quids in here, doing great. Every cloud has silver lining, you know. So I'm grateful for that. I really am grateful that that's been changed. But I might say to somebody that's on this journey and finding it really difficult to cope with that Garrix, speak out and ask if there is a possibility to change the Zoladex, because it's basically the same thing. And I don't know really why I had 2.5 years of it, but I guess if it was working and I was in such a bad state at the beginning of it all, it's obviously done its job for the time being, and the Zoladex has taken over. Yeah, so I'm grateful for that, very grateful. And you have to celebrate these little wins when you've got cancer. It's a little win, it's a little strike in the box that says, I can do this, I can cope with this, and I can keep going, because that's what it's all about. It really is. It's all about willpower and mind over matter, in conquering the doubt and the fear somehow of what's in the future, of which none of us know. As I've always said this, the future is a mystery, the past is history, today is the present. That's what is a gift. That's why they call it the present, and they got it right. But anyway, Kung Fu Panda, I often quote that. It's really nice. I like that little saying. I think it just sums up life, you know. What really matters is what you're doing right now, and what I'm doing right now is getting some fresh air and doing my body some good, because I think every time you get over your mind and get out, you create a better experience of life living with cancer. Even if it's an hour of a better experience. So that's what I'm intending to do. That's what I'm doing. Once again, I've been buoyed by so many responses and comments, but I don't always get a chance to answer them all. Sometimes if I'm sitting at night, and I'll go on the YouTube and answer as many as I can. So if I don't answer your particular comment, because it's getting bigger and bigger now, the followers, then I apologise, but I will try. But it's just great. It is great to hear from other people and listen to what other people are doing, and listen to the encouragement that people are giving me as well. And if you're giving me encouragement, I'm then going to spread that out and encourage other people from all over the world. That's what I like about social media with YouTube, is that I'm talking here now, but I could be talking to someone on the other side of the world in Australia who might have just woke up. It's unthinkable sort of 15 years ago to do that, but such is technology, eh? So I try and think of ways of staying positive through all this. The gratitude diary is amazing. I would urge anyone to get a piece of paper or buy a gratitude diary, but you can just get a piece of paper and write it out, what you're grateful for each day, each morning and each evening before you go to bed. So when I wake up, what am I grateful for? I mean, it's got to be the first one on the list. It's got to be that I'm grateful to be alive, grateful to still be here. You know, I'm grateful for my family. I'm grateful for the birds singing. I'm grateful for the warm bed and the you know, all those things. And I've got a roof over my head and my heart's beating. And it doesn't take long to start thinking about 3 things that you're grateful for. And then at the end of the day, you write down 3 things that you're grateful for that have happened in that day. And it can be really, really simple stuff, but it just points you in the right direction. It points your mind in the right direction to becoming more positive and saying, cancer, get out of my head, because that's where it gets sometimes. June the 6th is going to be a big one. That's not long. June the 6th is the discussion with my oncologist about the chemo. Worryingly, perhaps, I don't know if I should be worried, I had a CT scan 2 weeks ago. I got a call Friday to say, can we come in again for another one, which is next week, which is the day after I do my walk on the Sunday. So I'm thinking, what have they seen in that scan? And the scanxiety, you know. But I could worry myself to death over that. My wife said to me, you know, you can't change nothing. Whatever's happened has happened anyway. There's nothing you can change. The scan that I've already had will be what it is, and the one that I'm going to have will be what it is as well. The thing is, if I constantly worry about it, I'm gonna make myself feel bad. So I've kind of put it in my diary. I know I've got a CT scan next Sunday, and hopefully forget all about it, and then when the day comes, I'll go in and do that. But June the 6th is when I sit down with the oncology department, with my oncologist, and we discuss where we're going, and the thought of going into chemotherapy. Yeah, definitely something that's is in the pipeline. It's not 100%, but it looks that way, that it's going to go down that pathway. But again, I've been made aware by people's comments, and you know, that it's not as bad as I think it's going to be, and that is the key. That is the key. When you think about things, you almost certainly exaggerate them to make them worse. And I think it's quite common to say, oh, it wasn't as bad as I thought it was. I suppose in a way, my 2.5-year journey so far with prostate cancer has not been as bad as I thought it was. Yeah, when I first got diagnosed, I had the most deep, dark, horrible, nasty thoughts that just wouldn't get out of my head for a while. And I started to realise, yeah, it's not as bad as you think it's going to be. And I just share that message with people that are just starting off on this journey. If you are there, you're just starting, today's medications, today's treatments can do wonders with prostate cancer. So try your best not to think it's going to be terrible. Okay, it's not going to be as bad as you think it's going to be. And with that, I'm going to love you and leave you, continue my walk. There's a very, very big black dark cloud up there that is probably going to get me again. It will be my second soaking. But hell, singing and dancing in the rain, hey, that's what we got to do. So until the next time, please keep the comments coming. Thanks very much for listening, and to stay positive wherever you are. Speak again very shortly. Bye bye.